Did you guys do anything for the Queen's birthday?
I went to Portugal.
I went to Cyprus.
What did you both do to celebrate the Queen's birthday in those locations?
Absolutely
I went
nothing.
to Slide and Splash
Nice.
for the day.
Oh.
It was fucking awesome.
What, a brothel?
Is that what what you call it? Trying to
I met Big Liz.
to commemorate the Queen.
Fucking hell. I was with my kids, for God's sake. It was outrageous.
How about you, Dave? What did you do to celebrate the Queen's birthday?
I had like a picnic at work, so that was quite nice. And that was it, really.
A picnic outside work?
Nah, you know what I mean. Like, just had some...
It's a sensory car park. Basically on a boiled egg on a bench.
Yeah, all that kind of shit. Nice. It was nice.
Did Jersey have any street parties or anything?
Broad Street had a street party. Yeah, it was quite nice,
Did Roseville Street have a street party, Shafi?
Don't think so.
Yeah, just the usual drunken people screaming outside and telling us to go home. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. That's few too many.
Yeah, again.
Dave, just stop hanging outside our house. Let's do this then. What's up, everyone? I'm Shafi Malik, and you're listening to the Who Dropped the Popcorn podcast. The premise is simple. One of us picks a film that we know the others haven't seen, and we all come here to discuss it. Joining us tonight is Dave McHugh.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
Andy Newlands.
Bandel, Rescue Rangers.
And all the way from the somewhat north of England, Kyle Hammond.
Country roads take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia. Country road. Shafi's beatboxing in the background.
There was always a beatbox in that song, I'm sure.
You ruined the magic, because if you hadn't have said that, people would have thought you were beatboxing at the same time while singing, doing like a Razel.
Your sound wasn't coming through, mate.
Oh, sorry. Right. Oh, damn. Okay. Here's a warning. We'll be going into heavy spoilers for this film. So it's just you watch the film before listening to this. This episode's choice is Dave's. Dave has chosen 2010's Tucker and Dale versus Evil, written by Morgan Jurgensen, Eli Craig, and directed by Eli Craig. Tucker and Dale versus Evil centers on two hillbillies in West Virginia who get mistaken for a couple of crazed killers when interacting with a group of college kids. Dave, why did you choose this film?
Simply because it's genius and absolutely hilarious, with wonderful, wonderful performances, absolutely wonderful performances. Even all the little students have their own little idiosyncrasies and characters and great lines. It's fucking brilliant from start to finish.
Tell us why you picked it up to watch it, and when did you watch it? Let us know. Tell us the background.
Well, it was because Michael Scott was talking about how funny it was on one of his podcasts, and it was simply because of that. And I just thought it was genius, and I was like, okay, great. I cannot wait to see this. I watched it, and I had high expectations. I was still blown away, and it was better than I thought. I cannot stress how much I love this film. Viewers, please take the time to watch it. Twice, second time today.
And did you find it just as funny this time?
Yeah, because I was smart enough to have quite a lot of lager the first time I watched it, which I enjoy doing with comedies, because when you watch it the second time, it's like the first time. Yeah. Thank you.
So original of you as well, Dave.
I should have been out on a fishing boat watching it on my iPad.
Yeah, very tactically thought of you there. Anyway. Nice. Okay, so Andy, please provide a recap to this film.
Hey, 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 what's that you say? It's Andy's articulate analysis.
All right, so this film is about... it's about the woods and what can go wrong in the woods when college kids go into the woods. But actually, it's not at all, because it is a stroke of genius, this movie. It's so fucking good. And I just want to start this by saying me and Dave now are fully on the same side. The union has come full circle. It's basically just, it's fucking crazy, this film. Like, it's about these college kids go in and they see these two dudes, Dale and Tucker, and they, the premise is that these two dudes might be crazy fucking creeps and stuff. And then basically the whole film is about just like the two sides misunderstanding what the hell's going on. And then the comedic elements of like the kids are attacking the fucking adults and they're fucking it up and they're getting killed. And then like some of the kids don't see that happening. So they end up thinking that Dale and Tucker are actually murderers. But then Dale and Tucker are like, what the fuck is wrong with these fucking kids? Like, they're trying to kill us and stuff. And it's just wonderful. And then, weave through this story. It's kind of ridiculous and plausible all at the same time. I can't really explain it. I'm telling it to Dave tonight. I just can't explain it. But it's essentially a comedic tale of tragic doom, underpinned by there's this one dude, one kid who's like, as the film goes on, you're like, fucking hell, this kid is a psycho. And then it's cool. You find out why he's a psycho, and it kind of keeps the film, together. And you, as an audience member, slowly fall in love with Tucker and Dale throughout this movie, because how can you not? Sets up to be, this film could have been shit, by the way, as well. I just want to say that it could have been fucking shit, but it's not. So it's in short, it's a tale of murder, bit of mystery, massive amounts of comedy. Very refreshing, very original, a different take of the normal horror genre movies where you see hillbillies in the woods and college kids going in. And if I was to say to you, this film's about hillbillies in the woods and college kids going in and there's murders, you'd probably be like, oh, I know exactly what happens in this movie. But with this one, you'd be a million miles away. So good choice, Dave. That's kind of what happens. Tremendous, absolutely tremendous.
This is going to be a boring episode then, because it's better when you two fucking get naked and wrestle. But
we'll be married by the next episode.
By the way, viewers, if you want to find some of that content, subscribe to our Patreon, and there's some downloadable videos of Dave and Andy, because that's actually what happens. They're both naked and they're actually wrestling.
What's a Patreon?
The American Graffiti episode, you kind of heard a lot of background noise. That was their thighs like splashing together. What was it? The Ninja 2 episode. You're going a bit too deep into
this fantasy stuff. Ninja
2 episode.
And then the other noises
the Ninja 2 episode, I had a sprinkler and I was shooting water at them. Yeah. So anyway,
wow.
So Kyle, how about you? What did you think of the film?
Yeah, it was great. I think it was the very first joke. Well, one of the early jokes was where, which one's Tucker? Is Tucker the Alan Tudyk? Yeah. So Tucker says to Dale, "Look, just be confident. Go over and smile." And he walks over to them and does the most psychopathic smile ever, with a fucking sickle as well. And I was like, "Well, I'm sold on this. I'm sold. This is great."
even just the look, sort of the subtle looks they give when they drive past them in the car, and then when they first walk into that kind of shop, it just sets the mood so brilliantly. It's just like, all right, I love it. It's just so good. Yeah, it's genius. It is genius, isn't it? It is the way they create it so that each side believes the others. It's just so good.
It's funny because obviously, like the college kids, their point of view of the hillbillies is like your Deliverance and your Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but like the hillbillies kind of like worldview of like everyone else is strange. Are they like it must be a suicide pact? It's like, where the fuck has this come from?
It's brilliant, isn't it? So yeah, it's just genius, isn't it? So to think of one of the most iconic scenes in horror history is that scene in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre where he's just going ape shit with a chainsaw, and you think, how can we put this into a film where it appears that that's what's happening, but it's not? Yeah. And I just think how it's fucking genius. So I've got it. He fucking soars into a beehive and runs off. It's just genius. And then when he comes into the sort of shack to say it, and he's like, I saw into a beehive. And he just laughs and says, "Why'd you do that?" It's just so brilliant. This film is too good for
well, he sees the guy running as well, doesn't he? And he's like, he must be really scared of bees too, or he must be allergic to bees.
It's just genius.
They're like running at the same direction, which is even funny. They're running beside each other while sort of looking at each other.
And then that kid just ends up Vlad the Impaling himself. It's just brilliant. Yeah. It's just brutal as well, isn't it? It's like, fucking hell, whoa. Oh. Yeah.
So
gold, comic gold.
Andy, what was your favourite kill in this film?
Oh my God. I quite like the bit where the guy was just running in the woods and then he like impaled himself on that stick. Like, because I was like, fucking hell, you stupid cunt. And then I also like the one where the guy was trying to like javelin stab Dale and then he like tripped and then like ended up killing himself. Then obviously the one like where that like the dude's in the cabin with that like grass blades like cut a thing and then mashes the girl's face off. I was like, oh my God, all that blood went on. I was like, this is too much for me. And then all of them, I can't select one. Like the bit where the guy jumps in the with the jigsaw things. Like,
the wood chipper. That was the point. I actually burst out laughing out loud. I was like, I properly pissed myself when he ran up into. He like sprinted up to him, and then he moves out the way and it lands in the wood chipper.
And they were so clever about like the amount of different. Like, even the way the guy. The safety's on. He takes the safety off and then immediately shoots himself in the face.
Trying to look for it. Bang. But then the other comic genius about the guy in the wood chipper is he's trying to. It looks like he's trying to save him, and he's screaming, and there's blood going on over him. So if you looked at it from that point of view, it looks like you're putting him into the chipper. It's just too good for what. And then, like, when the cop's talking to them, he's like, yeah, if I didn't knock her unconscious, it would be okay. She's in my bedroom right now. It's just genius. It really is genius.
That cop bit, though, is great because, like, they're like the wasn't like that. The quote is, what's he say? Hilly ho, we've had one hell of a day, or whatever he says. But and he starts saying this like random, and the cop fucking believes him. He's like, I told you not to fucking come up here. Tells the most mental story. Like, I believe you. And I fucking told you not to come up here. Shit happens.
Doozy of a day.
He first finds them when they're driving in the car, and he thinks he's going down on them. Dale's going down.
Yeah. Well, we've all been
there. So like I guess like the as you said, the archetype. One of the archetypes is just Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I guess like the thing that the film that sort of brought this stereotype of like going into the South and interacting with like the weirdest of the weird, I guess, is Deliverance, right? Kyle, have you seen Deliverance?
Yeah, I mean, I barely remember it because it was a long time ago. But yeah, I've not seen the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but the original. But this is both like 20 years ago, so knowledge is thin.
How about you, Andy? Have you seen Deliverance?
Who's in it?
So Burt Reynolds. It's like a film that was made in the 70s.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
It's not really a horror film, is it?
But see, I mean, it's not. No, not
thriller, but
it's not in the. You wouldn't sort of put it in the horror genre, but that's a film that's
it's scary.
Its intention was to strike fear in you, right? It was to strike the kind of the. So, Dave, do you want to like describe what Deliverance is to Andy?
I'm going to show him one day. Deliverance is you'll find out one day. So Deliverance is a film
Andy's
about...
seen it all already, man. Come on.
These sort of guys that are from a city, and they've got their mate that's the sort of hard man, and the Burt Reynolds character, of course, and he is a dude, really. So he takes his
he wears this wetsuit,
tight leather vest,
with this wetsuit that doesn't have any sleeves, and he looks like the coolest person in the world.
He does pull it off somehow, yeah. And he takes his mates on a kind of whitewater rafting kind of thing through, the deep south. It's all a bit stereotypical even now, isn't it? And it's like, and then basically they get captured at one point by the locals, and the weakest of the bunch, unfortunately, is raped by one of them.
Gosh, it sounds terrible.
And they kind of escape, and it's almost like they sort of let them go to hunt them again and stuff. And it becomes a bit of a fight, and it's awesome. Actually, I won't completely ruin it, but yeah, it's a story of survival, and it is fucking cool, man. Fucking hell, it's just, if you think of being in that situation, wounded, trying to escape, fucking a million miles from home, man.
Andy, you're in Red Dead 2 when you're in like the woods.
Yes.
And those weird guys that cult tries to kill you.
The cult.
Yeah.
Is that
basically
that?
yeah. Basically, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give up work soon and just watch movies like this and play Red Dead.
It's in The Simpsons as well, isn't it? When they sort of get stuck on the raft out at sea.
That's quality.
Well, they put in Father Ted as well when the kid's playing the banjo.
Oh, yeah. And then the guy's just dancing on the rocks in the background. It's so good. That's so iconic, that scene, isn't it?
Yeah, so what I think is really good about Deliverance is, one of them's a badass, but it really is for like ordinary people, and the fear that they have throughout the film is like genuine fear. Like another film that is sort of like that is a film called Andy, you might have seen this film, a film called Judgment Night. Have you seen that film?
Who's in it?
So that is with, who's in that? Oh God, Emilio Estevez.
No.
Is Cuba Gooding Jr. in that film?
Yeah, Jeremy Piven, Stephen Dorff. I see.
Yeah. Dave, you know what I'm talking about, aren't you? Judgment Night.
No, never heard of it.
What? Really?
No.
I'm surprised maybe that you guys have watched it. I thought that's like a.
Mm-hmm. Is that the film you came around here and made me watch? And they're playing a game. They're playing a game in the house, and then it all gets mental. No,
that's what's it? What film was that? I can't remember now. I know what you're talking about later, but yeah, no. But Judgment Night is when they're sort of like, I think they go and see. There's four mates that go and see a boxing fight, and then they end up in some sort of like backwoods neighborhood, and then they witness a murder, and then it's just basically them being chased through the hood. And it's like four middle-class guys that end up getting scared. But yeah, sorry, I'm digressing from the film that we're supposed to discuss, but I just thought talk about the films that it sort of apes, that's all. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Well, like, if you look at the like poster of the film, and the fact it's called Tucker and Dale versus Evil, I thought it was like going to be like a zombie film, or whatever. But it's I thought it was going to be like a supernatural element to it. Like, I thought that maybe like it ends up being like a supernatural like reveal midway, and they ask like it is Tucker and Dale that have to save the day, save the kids.
Because I do want to. That's a really good point, Matt. And so later on, I'll say the obvious, as in this film could have gone anywhere at the beginning, but I'm glad it went the way it did. But the only thing I do not understand is, and I have done a bit of research on this, at the beginning of the film, you see the journalists go into the house and they're murdered, and then there's a shot of the main villain in the film. So I was like, is that the kids? So I looked it up on the internet, looked at some of the reviews, and everyone is like, yes, that is the kid. So I just don't.
Is it supposed to be his dad?
Is it? Is it meant to be his dad?
I can only assume so, but it's weird. Every time I've watched it twice, and I kind of forget about the opening scene.
But the reason I say it's not his dad is because he's wounded in exactly the same way as the villain is wounded. So it's not like, oh, they look the same. Like they've got exactly the same burn marks, same haircut, the same age. I don't quite.
Maybe it's after. Maybe it's after the fact. Then it's after the fact, and it is him. And it's like,
but he gets a pole through the face.
No, it says 3 days earlier. After that scene, it says 3 days earlier, doesn't it?
Yeah. So but that's what I mean. But it goes back 3 days. But so by the time the journalist would have done that, the villain would have been dead.
Yeah, it is confusing.
Doesn't make any sense. Like,
sort of confusing.
That's the biggest thing on the internet about this film, is that scene makes no sense, because he clearly dies at the end. You see the journalist at the end giving a little speech and stuff about the fact that the murders have happened. So the story's played out, etc. So it just fucking doesn't make any sense unless there's a supernatural element to this. It's fucking weird. Like,
that's mad. Like, on both times I've watched it, I've completely forgotten about that scene. Yeah,
it just doesn't.
Well, I watched it in 2 halves, so yeah, I'd totally forgotten about that. Yeah,
it's worth research. Have a look, because it just doesn't make any fun. I can't get my head around it.
Unless it takes place before he kidnaps the girl.
Yeah, but that's what I thought. But the thing is, the journalists, that woman is giving a speech at the end of the film after it's all happened. You know, say, this has happened, was it suicide, So the events of the film have taken place.
Maybe he did survive somehow.
Well, that's the only thing. It's like that Nick Cage film, wasn't it? Did the fairy survive and all the rest of it? I don't know, but that's brought up the most questions on the net about this film. It's the only thing that doesn't tie together.
He obviously survived. So Chad, funny enough, he's called Chad because the name Chad on like Reddit and the internet now is just basically just your college frat dickhead. And this film's like, 12 years ago. So did that name come from this?
Well,
don't know.
Right.
Maybe. But yeah, it says he survived and he's the next Memorial Day killer. So he must have survived, and then when Tucker Dale had gone, he's then just started killing all the press.
He just carries on.
I don't even notice that. Well done, man.
It's a bit of an odd way to begin the film, though, because it's not really... Usually those intros are done in order to sort of provide a background, like to, precursor to the film, or it's, the plot leading up to, like Carlito's Way, you see Carlito dying at the beginning of the film, and then it leads up to that, where this is just sort of like a random, another plot point in the film that's not really explained. So
sorry to digress there, because I was kind of thinking like that's the only supernatural element is like, he can't die, but the film doesn't. It never has that supernatural element, so it doesn't.
I think the reason why is because I think it needs to set the tone of the film, because if you didn't have that scene, you wouldn't probably think it's a horror film. I don't know. I think that it's just to let kind of the audience know that they're watching, of the genre, informing them of the genre that they're in, I guess. So.
It's well funny when she's in the shop and she's just shopping and she pulls that jar and then he's just behind staring at her. Such a fucking crazy bastard, like.
Well, he might not have been. He might have just been lined up like that. He was just trying to get his eggs.
Yeah. Do you know what, actually, Dave? I think that is actually more, probably more accurate. And he's just unlucky. He's just one of these unlucky
that she happened to put out. And, oh shit! I just wanted my eggs. Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? And like you say, he's so lovable. He is like. I was in love with him early doors. It didn't take me the whole film.
Right?
Yeah.
He just reminded me of a big, chubby Chris Pratt. He's just a funny geezer, just like trying to make it through the woods.
Exactly.
Parks and Recreation Chris Pratt, not the post Jurassic Park Christian fundamentalist lunatic Chris Pratt.
Tucker just does these subtle little nuances in his performance that are just so good. It's like, we'll let Tucker talk to him. He's the sort of smooth one out of us both. And he just kind of winks while it's covered in all these bee stings on his face and stuff, just still confident. It's just fucking awesome.
So funny, bee stings.
It's so good. The look he
Did you notice he puts beer on all his wounds? Every time he gets his fingers, his answer is going to put beer on my fucking soul. You fucking crazy hillbilly motherfucker.
It's just brilliant. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so great how like that house, like what the students all turn up. They're like, "What is this fucked up old mental house?" But they're just like, "Oh, we've just bought this fixer upper that we're going to do up."
It's just genius, isn't it? And then when they think she's like digging her own grave and stuff.
Yeah,
like
brilliant.
That.
Yeah.
Just, what are you doing? I'm digging a shit. I'm digging a dump tray. I'm digging an outhouse. Oh yeah, that's the one. It's just so good. Like,
no, they're rescuing her from the river. Like they're kidnapping her. No, they're just rescuing her.
Yeah.
We have your friend. We have your friend. Fuck. It's just really, it's so good. It's so well written. It's so clever at every point.
It is a very sharp script. Like it just flows so well. Like there wasn't 1 minute where like this is probably like the first film out of all these podcasts. Like don't get me wrong, I've loved some of them and hated some of them, but like I wasn't bored at all during this movie.
Yeah, it's quite short as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it was just like there wasn't a scene that didn't need to be in there. It was just for an idiot like me that just wants to go to the movies to be entertained, this was absolutely spot on.
That's what I really loved about this film, is that it gets straight into it. Like there's no setting up. It just goes straight into, when you see those kids in that truck kind of drive, you just know who they are, what they're going to do, and what their fears are. And it's the same with, and it doesn't really, and I thought and that's when I actually looked at the running time. So I looked at the running time when it kind of cut straight to it. I was like, I bet you this is going to be a really quick film. And I looked at it, it said 1 hour, 20 minutes. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So
even when he's like talking, they're sort of saying there's something wrong with your brain, referring to how good he is at remembering stuff. And he's like, yeah, I battered that girl and stuff. And it's just, and then they're overhearing it and stuff. It's just, everything is just so clever. It's so well done. There's something wrong with your brain. I fucking love it, man. I absolutely love this film.
I read somewhere that had quite a small budget, but like I remember like watching it and thinking like,
it looks high budget, doesn't it?
Crystal clear, and it's like kind of like fuck, I
really slick.
Really slick,
really
like,
slick,
really well shot. Like just it's like
and fantastic special effects, and the special effects fucking unreal.
Yeah,
the deaths and stuff, man.
Get some practical effects,
yeah.
It's really good. It's
the location like was amazing. Like some of those shots, like, those fucking American forests are just crazy. Like no wonder people go and actually get missing. Like
I know.
I'd love to know like what are the actual stats on that? Like how many people do go missing in these woods like every year? If I look up.
Well, what I was wondering is how often has a group of students gone into the woods and been brutally murdered? Has it actually ever happened? I mean, I know, is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre semi-true? Is it true? They weren't really in the woods, though, were they? Obviously,
it's a true story.
Is it 100% true? Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
And the whole family thing must have been embellished slightly for cinema.
Right, check this out, right? According to NAMAS, which is the National Missing and Unidentified Person System, how many people do you think go missing in the United States every year?
I'm going to say 123,468.
I was going to say about 100,000, yeah.
Shaf?
I would say 190,000.
That's what I would have said. 600,000.
Wow.
What's the population? 300,000? 300 million, sorry. 300 million.
300 million, yeah.
Fucking crazy.
I know, because it's mad, isn't it, when you think about Blood Simple and stuff like that, where people just murder people and they've got to, clean up the blood. And it does take a lot of time, you'll find, cleaning up blood and burying people and stuff. But obviously a lot of people just fuck off just had enough and moved to a different state and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
The amount of people that have actually been brutally murdered and stuff. But the thing that's so terrifying is how many people are in somebody's basement and stuff like that. When it's discovered from time to time, it makes me think, I think there should be some kind of thing where they do some sort of audit of everyone's house and go around and just check to make sure no one's in the basement.
No. See, if you've got a house, well, like a lot of houses, so you might not know this, Dave, but so under my floorboards is earth. So there's like a 2 foot gap.
It's a family
of 4.
So what are they going to? I mean,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so your floor is suspended to allow airflow, so you don't get damp, you don't get rising damp.
Oh.
So anybody can lift up their floorboards, dig really fucking deep, bury someone, and fill it all back in. It's quite simple. I'll show you how to do it one day, Dave. It's fun. Yeah.
When you say anybody, right?
I know, it's mad, isn't it? You know, but God, the amount of people that are fucking, it's terrifying. The amount of people that must be.
I didn't know the guy that plays Dale. I'd never seen before.
No, I've never seen him after or either, so to speak.
No,
I've only seen the other guys, the pirate and Dodgeball.
He's been in loads of stuff.
Yeah, he's literally voice actor in Shafi.
Oh, it's so funny.
He's a voice actor. Have you guys seen The Knight's Tale?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he's really good in that. Dave, I think you'd like The Knight's Tale.
I'll watch it. He's got a small part in Knocked Up, hasn't he? Really small part.
Yeah, he's good in that as
but
well.
It's just hilarious, isn't it? Though, yeah.
He's really good in. You guys don't watch watch Firefly or Serenity, and he's brilliant in that.
Are we allowed to watch that now?
I know.
Is that off the list now?
Well, but then again, okay. So basically, what Kyle's getting at is Joss Whedon is responsible for creating Firefly, but a lot of that show was sort of written. A lot of the good stuff was kind of written by other people and directed by other people. So, but yeah, he's really good. Dave, I think you'd really like the show Firefly and the spin-off Serenity.
Firefly and Serenity. Okay, cool. Yeah. What are they? So
someone described it as if it's Star Wars, but if instead of like Luke Skywalker, it's starring Han Solo,
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Cool.
It's like a Western slash like space opera.
Is it like a not funny Red Dwarf?
It's not. It's more. You can't. If you know like how Joss Whedon writes, like the tone of it. So it's still like adventure and stuff, but there's like like funny lines, like one-liners and stuff.
Quips.
Yeah, lots of quips. Yeah, but it's actually really good. Like the cast like of in that spaceship are, like they work really well together, and it's really good. But yeah, Alan Tudyk's really good. He played the robot in iRobot. Shout out to Andy, the Will Smith super fan.
Oh, one of the greatest films ever. Some great cars in that, Audis.
Oh, nice, right? I'm pretty sure
I like that film.
iRobot's quality.
I can't remember at all. All I can remember is that car, sort of weird truck car chase in the tunnel. That's the only thing.
It's fucking amazing.
It's very different to the book.
He's a detective.
Yeah. Because it's the robot that's sort of like, I didn't kill him and all that shit.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he played that robot, didn't he? Am I right?
What's it called? Yeah, it's called. I had it up just a minute ago.
Oh yeah. No.
Yeah.
No, he did play. He did play.
Talking of Will Smith, and you immediately get an erection. That's my job.
But then he was the robot in Rogue One, wasn't he?
K2SO or whatever. Sonny, the robot was called. Yeah. So he's done a load of voice stuff. He was in. So he's King Candy in Wreck-It Ralph. He's in Frozen and Frozen 2. Voice, obviously. Big Hero 6. Yeah, a lot of fucking Disney stuff. Shit, yeah.
When they're bowling at the end, does that hillbilly punch a woman in the face and then drag her out and kidnap her? Is that what happens?
No, it's never quite shown, is it? Just maybe some weird shit happened, and the point is that don't just assume that some hillbilly just punched her in the face. I don't know. Just always just like just be yourself. I think you
see on camera.
Yeah, it's weird because I was sort of watching.
He definitely drags her body out of the bowling.
Yeah, he drags her out and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just again like hillbillies. Be careful when you talk to a girl, isn't it? Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Did you recognise the main girl, Dave?
No, she was hot though. What was she in?
Do you remember American Pie Reunion?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so she was what was he called? The one that was with Mani Savari in the other films. She was his girlfriend in that. She's like some model. Oh. He's like a TV host or something, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, is that her? Wow, gosh, yeah, she's I wouldn't have recognised her. American Pie: The Reunion is fucking hilarious. That was a real return to form. All four of those films, I think, are fucking hilarious.
Okay, so we asked on Twitter what people thought of this film. Dave, I think you should join Film Twitter, because every time you pick a film and I ask on Twitter, it ends up getting like loads of responses. So I think you'd probably, if you joined Film Twitter, I think you'd probably end up getting like thousands and thousands of users, and then you'd have lots more friends as well. And
what's Film Twitter?
People on Twitter that talk about films. So,
But how does it differ from Twitter?
It's just like a section of Twitter.
Go through that again, Sean. Sorry, I didn't quite understand that.
So if I went on Film Twitter, what would I say? Oh, hi, guys.
You don't go on Film Twitter. You just basically follow. You go on Twitter and you follow. Mate. Oh no! Please don't. So
please, just try and explain it to me.
And you follow. You go on Twitter and you follow all those film fans.
Shafi, do I have to tweet? I'm watching this film. I like Tucker and Dale.
No. You just have to follow these people, and then
no. But Dave, you are right, because that's what a lot of the film Twitter users do. They go, "I'm watching this now, watching this," and then everyone sort of chips in the conversation. Yeah.
So it's Twitter, but they will just won't. It's not my opinion on anything other than films, basically. So you could have music Twitter, science Twitter. It's whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, there's rap Twitter. There's rap Twitter.
You just say, well, I'm never going to mention my thoughts on anything other than
No, it's not that. No. It's just that it's just basically it's what your interests are. And it's just so basically they would associate and go, oh, Dave, he knows, and he's a big fan of films because he talks about it a lot. So you're part of the film Twitter conversation, basically. That's all.
So I'm at the top. I'm the top of the pyramid, and everyone's beneath me when they comment after. I'm number one.
Yeah. That as well. Like those people
that sound pretty cool.
Those people that have like loads of followers and stuff like that, you know.
Get big on Twitter, then just like retweet our stuff, because we could do that.
Oh my god, that'd be so good if you could do that.
All right, I'll do it. And I'm going to get on, what's the dating app? I'll do that as well at the same time.
Tinder.
Tinder, yeah.
Grindr, yeah.
I'll do Tinder as well. Okay, cool. Oh god, it's going to change my life.
Okay, so
and online banking. How about that?
So Andy Gorham says, amazing movie. I love the comedy and the slasher elements mixed with two amazing leads and some gruesome deaths and laugh out loud moments. Insanely quotable too. So big shout out to Andy Gorham. Thank you very much. Our friend Michael Scott says the perfect horror comedy. It's gory, hilarious, and subverts expectations. You can't ask for anything more.
Wow.
So Michelle Egan, she says that absolutely adore this movie. It hilariously and beautifully plays with horror tropes, and while it's pure comedy gold, also has a lot of heart.
Yeah, man, that's great.
Which is true. Yeah. Our good friend Scott Wiley says it's great, guys. One of Jade's favorites. That's Jade, his partner. One of Jade's favorites that became mine as well. The situations and the over-the-top outcomes are hilarious, and it all stems from making assumptions and stereotyping.
It's genius. How is this under the radar? How is this film under the radar? It is under the radar.
I know, it's incredible.
It's so good. This should be up there with Shaun of the Dead. Yeah, I'm saying it. It should be up there.
It should be.
It is. It's as good as any horror comedy. It is so good. It's genius.
This is how stupid I am. I thought the Shaun of the Dead and all that were the kind of originals type of these films. Sharp, well fucking written, brilliantly filmed. But I had no idea this was so old, this film as well. I was like, this film could come out next year and still look good.
I know, it's incredible, isn't it? So yeah, 2011. Like what? Yeah, like Young Frankenstein and stuff like that. It's just I don't even know how far. What was the first comedy horror film? My gosh,
the first comedy horror film was in 1922 called One Exciting Night.
Yeah,
that's mad.
Yeah, it's mad.
That's Dave's next choice.
100 years ago. Well, it was a scary movie.
Just
actually,
Dave and St. John's Park for an hour and a half.
And finally, Lindsay says, Tucker and Dale is so inventive. I find new things to marvel and giggle at each time. It's a masterclass. I can never stop smiling at it.
Yeah, okay. Another perfect description. It's awesome.
Nice.
It's so good. Honestly,
nice. So thank you very much for everyone's comments there.
Yeah, and thanks, Michael Scott, because that's sort of the reason I ended up watching it. I it's just, it's criminal to think this film isn't in everyone's face. It's so good.
In everyone's face.
Yeah.
How long have we gone on for, Kyle?
Too long.
Yeah, about an hour.
Fucking ages, mate. Half time.
Wow. Okay, nice.
I don't feel we've talked that much about the film though, but
here we go. Get the scroll out.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I've got nothing else to say.
I do agree.
I've got nothing else to say.
I do agree.
We almost run out of steam.
It's because we all agree on it. It's a great film. There's there's nothing wrong with that. Short, concise.
Right, don't worry. The next episode is going to be a long one.
Right, let's get to it then.
Okay, cool.
All right. So, what one word?
Are
review?
we going to one word reviews then? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
It's the one word review. The one word review. The one word review from us to you.
Except for Dave, who says
it's the best.
Let's start with Kyle. What's your one word review?
Heidi ho.
Excellent. Andy, what's your one word review?
Juxtaposition.
Oh, very good. And Dave, what's your one word review?
Fucking hilarious.
Fucking hell. Come on.
Fucking wow, good.
You can never come up with a good one. So
good. Well done, Dave. This was exactly the film this podcast needed. We'd had so much fucking kung fu and shit for so long.
Don't start slagging off Ninja 2 all of a sudden.
I don't think we'll do justice today, but yeah.
But Dave knew that everyone would love this. He said,
I did. I thought I'd nailed it this week.
Playing to the crowds.
But I kind of I want Dave to pick another slow burn philosophy from the 70s.
You're so evil. You love it when I'm miserable. Just miserable watching these shit films.
It makes up for the best comedy, though. Like the best
I
episode.
Needed a break.
Do you know what?
Need a break.
I might choose Lolita. I'm going to choose Lolita 1962 next.
Please don't.
Oh, fuck.
Please don't do that.
There is a line.
Please don't do that.
That is a
please
bad
don't do that. Let's just don't do that, please. So it is that time of the episode where we move on to the next person, and the next person's turn is Kyle's. So Kyle,
here we go. You've chosen C, so choose A or B.
yeah.
And then it's my fault for choosing B.
It did pretty well that episode, so
Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah,
I fucking love that film.
It was a good episode.
It was a great episode.
So Kyle, it is your choice for the next episode. What is the next film that we're going to watch?
It's time to go to the Danger Zone, boys. Top Gun Maverick.
Holy fuck!
Oh my fucking word, you legend! You absolute! I'm going to suck you off, you legend.
Wait, is this still at the cinema?
Yeah, you got to go to the cinema, Dave. Sorry, mate.
It'll be in the cinema for a while because it's done really well in the box office. So. And to be honest, Dave, you're gonna watch it in the ideal because the cinema's not going to be busy when you watch it. So you're
I'm going on my own as always because I've got no mates. It's not going to be a Friday night
10:30 in the morning when we're all in the office.
Well, Andy's got to go, so
I'm going, but I'm going to the VIP booth just so you know.
Take some Mr. Sheen with you.
Oh, it was one time. Get over that smudge. 10 fucking years you've been going on about this smudge.
Andy, I don't think you should watch it in the VIP room because you got to watch it properly
through the glass.
Yeah. You got to properly watch it.
Watch it through the glass. Screen. Fuck that, man. Fuck that.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
I love it.
That's what I'm saying. Andy took me to watch Ghost Protocol like that, and one thing is they left the lights on in the room, so you can see a reflection of lights against what. And then there was a smudge on the glass.
Okay,
as well.
I won't. I'll watch it. I'll watch it in normal in the room.
But there's one scene in the film that we're going to watch that.
Don't spoil it.
Like I feel like I could talk for hours about it. Like,
And we
one
can just
particular
talk for an
scene.
hour about Tom Cruise, surely.
That'll only be one sentence.
I was a bit slow there. I got it in the end.
Is it when he takes his top off?
Shafi, come back. Sorry.
Right, I'll send the outro to the group, and Dave, you've got to do the outro in your best hillbilly accent.
God, no. Really?
Why?
Shocks.
What?
Just do it.
Come
Do
on,
it,
Dave.
Dave.
You do a good
All
job.
right, this is my hillbilly accent. Yeah.
Fucking hell. No hillbillies ever from the city of Manchester.
All right.
You're not doing it then. Shall I do it then, Dave? You're not doing
No,
it.
I'll do it. I'll try it. Let me have one go at it if it's shit.
Get in touch
You can
with
do
us. Please send any questions, comments, praise, hate mail, or one-word reviews to the Popcorn Postbag at whodroppedthepopcorn at gmail.com.
Shafi's like a 70s racist comedian, doesn't he?
Fucking
Mother-in-law is a fucking...
At Who Popcorn or on Instagram. These bloody immigrants are coming into our country and TikTok at Who Dropped the Popcorn. And I'll tell you what. All right, so
That's fucking mental.
Well, that was a fantastic hillbilly accent, Shafi. I take my hat off to you.
of course
I take
it
my
is.
take my
I'm from
baseball cap off
Alabama,
to
don't you know?
Holy shit. That's staying in.
You ready, Dave?
Someone's got to read the intro out properly. Come on.
I'll do it. Okay, so get in touch with us. Please send any questions, comments, praise, hate mail, or one-word reviews to the Popcorn Postbag at whodroppedthepopcorn at gmail.com, or like, follow, harass us on Twitter at whopopcorn, or on Instagram at TikTok at Who Dropped the Popcorn. You can also leave a review on your podcast app, and please remember to like and subscribe. You've been listening to Who Dropped the Popcorn. We really appreciate it. See you soon, y'all.
Later, y'all.
Yeah!